Traveling light. Excuse me. Traveling light. Ruminations on the weight of life. It is impossible to truly travel light. I should know. I once tried to, packing only a carry-on before catching a train across the continent. But upon arrival, I opened my bag, only to find all of my problems neatly folded at the top. Not light enough. The next time, more recently, I tried again. I tied a few small possessions in a little red handkerchief on the end of a stick and hopped a flight for a different life. But once again, later and far away, I was driving down the highway and looked to my right, and there, in the passenger seat, was you. Not light enough. So I threw things out, emptied the drawers of my mind, checked all the pockets, and headed west as far as I could go. And standing on the edge of that ferry, rain spattering on my face, and only the Pacific Ocean and a few small islands stretching out in front of me, 7,000 miles from everything that led up to this moment. Still, not light enough. But perhaps that is to be expected, simply because there is one thing that it is impossible to travel without, and that is, unfortunately, or thank God, yourself. I have the same body, more or less, that I have had for 23 years. These are the same hands that clutched a Chinese visa while walking up to a tight-lipped guard, and held a steering wheel for countless hours. These are the same feet that walked down little dirt roads from Cambodia to California and have carried the rest of me, bone and sinew, heart and soul, along canals and perfect park paths in London and Amsterdam and Berlin. This is the very same skin that has been caressed and harassed by wind and lovers' hands and articles of clothing bought in markets where I spoke merely with gestures and expressions, for we shared no language. These eyes have seen all of that, and they are unchanged from the moment I was born. How do they last so long in a world of impermanence and decay? How is one's physical form the longest lasting thing in your life? Is that light enough? And so, how could it be possible to travel light when the weight of existence itself is ingrained into us? I walk everywhere, whether I want to or not, with the weight of pain, joy, anger, and sorrow, of adrenaline rushes and nights crying in a friend's arms, of the first time I fell in love. The weight of books I will never forget I read, of musical scores that made me cry, and of visions that left me standing, mouth gaping, shell-shocked. That can never be light. It is tempting to want to shed this weight, which we usually carry with us in the form of memories, reminders. I occasionally dream of simply dropping it like one drops a heavy backpack. Any hiker knows the jubilant weightlessness of removing a heavy pack after carrying it many miles. Even though it simply subtracts an added weight and reduces you down to the skin and bones you were born with and have lived with every moment of your existence, it seems to subtract so much more than that and adds in an extra element of joy. And I wonder, is that what it would feel like to shed this weight? Would that be light enough? But if it is impossible to truly travel light, and the weight we must always travel with is the weight of existence, of experience, of life itself, well, I want that weight. I want my existence to be as full and heavy as possible, like soil soaked by a rainstorm. If I live for the opposite of weightlessness, maybe that will be heavy enough.